Hey bro, here's that package you've been stalking the mailman for.
What's up, gamers? This is Too Loud Tech, and I'm finally ready to talk about the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. Let's get it. Okay, my friends, so we're gonna start off with a quick unboxing, and I mean quick because I fast forwarded it. It's basically the same. I just like to show it. It comes with a Retroid branded USB, but it's not all that. Moving on to the buttons. I think the front-facing buttons, they're pretty good. They're not bad. They're a little small, but they have good travel. A little shallow, but it's nice to swipe between them. Your finger doesn't get caught up or anything like that. The joysticks are a little small, but with these devices, I don't think we're ever going to see a full Xbox style joystick. The D-pad works great. I've had no complaints with it. It does everything I want it to do, and the movement is very nice. As far as the L1 and R1, these are some kind of clicky ones, and triggers are a little bit more mushy than I like. So up top we have power, volume, micro HDMI. On the bottom, micro SD, 3.5mm headphone jack, and power slot. The bronze is the RP4 Pro specs. Pause it and read it. 6 different color variations. I like them all. The cost is around $200 before shipping in Texas. Moving on to size comparison, we have the Miu Mini Plus, the RG556H, RGB30, 2DS Cheese Wedge, Razer Kishi with a OnePlus phone, Lenovo Legion Go. Now, the first thing I want to touch on is the color correction that has been put on these devices by default. I believe that it removes the saturation and the vibrancy from the screen. So what I do is I slide down from the notification bar. I click on this pencil icon. At that point, all of the toggle options come up. I drag to the bottom, I pull color correction out and bring this up. And as you can see, it's turned on. I also bring out extra dim because I like to use that at night when I'm laying in bed next to my wife. Now I'm going to show you an example here. So here's my screen with the color correction turned on. And as you notice, it's not too vibrant. But once I turn this off, look at how much those colors pop. Moving forward, I want to touch on some of my favorite Android apps, and the ones that are not self-explanatory, I'll touch on more later. Steam Link, Discord, Emulation Station, YouTube Music, Game Pass, Nova Launcher, Odin Tools, which is good, Obtainium, and Wallpaper Engine. Let's start with Wallpaper Engine. Wallpaper Engine is a live wallpaper application, but you have to own it on Steam to get the full use out of it. But I really enjoy this because it gives me a lot of customizability to my Android devices and to my PC as well. Next, we'll go into Obtainium. It's actually an Odin app for the AN Odin devices, and for some reason it didn't launch correctly the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and open it back up again. What I really enjoy about the Obtainium application is the fact that it finds you the latest versions of the emulators, not the Play Store versions. And if you want to run a script that automatically updates them for you, you can also do that. I choose not to do that. I like to update them manually, just because sometimes I have them working really good and I don't want to deal with any bugs that may come with a later version. So here I update my Citra and it's just that quick. I check on my Odin tools. It's all looking good. RetroArch, it has an update, but I'm not going to do it right now. I like how it is. The Vita 3K, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't done any testing on yet. And Yuzu, I use quite a bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and update that one. And it updates pretty quick. This application has been very handy, for sure. So now backing up out of that, I'm gonna go ahead back to my favorites folder. And inside of my favorites folder, I want to touch on my launcher, which is my favorite launcher. I've been using it for years. I use the paid version, but there is a free version. This is the one that you see my dock using and my home screen, but I just like the customizability of it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So I'm really a social gamer. I like to chat and chop it up with my friends while I play games. So the fact that I could have Discord on here is a major win for me. And I like to browse, come in here sometimes and just throw some messages around, some memes. Now for what is a major game changer in my eyes. Emulation Station debuted on Android this week, and it is the one thing that I felt Android was missing over Linux-based retro handhelds. A nice front end. Unfortunately, it is not a free application, and you can't get it from the Play Store. You have to download Amazon App Store, and I believe I paid $5.39 for it. But in my honest opinion, it is well worth it. It provides many of the features that we've grown accustomed to on our Linux devices, like custom themes. This one I'm using here is called CoinOps. I really like it a lot. It has beautiful artwork. Also, Emulation Station provides Scraper, so now we can have great video screensavers or video artwork for the games. Also, if you look at the bottom, we have game ratings, release dates, and different details regarding those games, which is always nice to have, just for those of us that like to have these little tidbits of info. Having Emulation Station come to Android is a major W. So because this device just so happens to share some similarities with the Switch Lite, I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. This is my daughter's Switch Lite, and I chose to run Sonic Mania, so we can just see the performance of Yuzu on Android. And what we're seeing here is that Sonic Mania holds a solid 60 FPS, which is very nice. And I do want you to keep in mind that not all Switch emulation will give you the same performance. Some games will run great, other games will be kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie. This happens to be one of the good ones, and I'm thankful for that because I do like some Sonic. So I'm just gonna try my best to play two consoles at the same time. Yep, that happened. I'm not a wizard. As much as I would love to just be able to run through Sonic on two consoles at the same exact time, it's just not gonna happen. I did do okay, and I was able to capture what I wanted to capture for you guys to be able to see that it actually runs pretty good. That is not the same story for Kirby. For me, at least, it won't even run. I get into this menu, I launch it, and as soon as I skip this video, it just crashes out on me. And that's the same story every time. I've tried to launch it over 10 times with no success. Pokemon Shining Pearl. With this game, I've had pretty decent luck. It doesn't keep a solid 60 FPS, but I do use Yuzu in handheld mode, which I'm not sure if this game gets 60 FPS in handheld mode, especially on something like the Switch Lite. But I did increase the emulation speed, so it pushed me over 30, which is what it was holding at first. and I would generally now get between 47 and 60 FPS. It runs good. I get a little choppiness between steps here and there, but it looks great, and I don't mind playing it like this. I don't think most of you will either, especially being that this is a turn-based game. If it was a real-time action game, maybe I would tell you differently. But as far as Pokemon, it's pretty decent. If anybody has any tips on some Yuzu settings to get this game to run better, leave it in the comments for me. I'd really appreciate that. You know, my friends, I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I have been emulating games for a long time, but I don't know it all. So if you share some tips, I still appreciate it. Moving on, I want to just show some of the, let's say, older retro systems to play. And I'm going to start off with N64 and Dragon Ball Kart. I love this ROM. We have Final Soldier, which, of course, it runs great. PC Engine game, it's to be expected. Chinatown Wars on DS. Having the screen side by side works for me. It looks good. And it runs great. I'm going to be playing some more DS on this console. For sure. Here, I played a little bit of God of War for PlayStation 2. I tried to see how high up I can get it. So, comfortably, I would say 2.5 times native resolution. It looks extremely sharp. I mean, very good. And it runs great. It generally keeps around 100% speed. I might get some minor dips, like here, when the monster pops out the Kraken. And but it goes right back up. And I mean minor dips. Here, this is my friend. He's amazing. Team Predator. All day. I want to show some of my favorite Android games to play on this device. This is Devil May Cry. This is an Android native game, and it's amazing. It just came out, and I've been spending some time on it. I used to play Devil May Cry on Xbox or PlayStation. I can't remember now. It's been quite a while. But for a native Android game, runs good, plays great. Just as I remember. And what's an Android video without a little bit of Fortnite? Just kidding, Fortnite. That's what. That's how I troll my kids. This is their favorite game to play. I'm trash with these joysticks, though. I'm not gonna lie. Got some Dead Cells, and this is the one actually from the Netflix games tab inside of the Netflix app. So for those that don't know, Netflix actually started just giving the subscribers some of the paid games. Also, this TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, came from Netflix. Amazing. If you guys haven't played this, are you under a rock right now? Go download it right now. Thank me later. One of my favorite Pokemon MMO games to play. Unfortunately, I haven't had that much time to spend playing it lately. So I've been in the same area for months. What can I say? It's I have 4 kids and I'm about to have my 5th. Time is short. Between testing consoles and raising a family, I just don't have that much time to give to PokeMMO right now. This was actually a recommendation of a friend of mine, Javi, from Javi Play Retro. would say if you like Smash Brothers, go ahead and give this a try. Last but not least, we have Asphalt Xtreme. I couldn't end this video without putting a racing game in here. I think the game runs great, the visuals are very nice, the controls were good, and I recommend it. In closing, I just want to talk about who I think this device is for. If you have a Lenovo Legion Go like I do, or a Steam Deck, ROG Ally, and maybe some smaller handhelds like a Miu Mini Plus or a RG556 Plus, I think that the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro falls perfectly in between those devices. So, go ahead and give it a shot. It's also great because it has Android, and you could use it for content consumption, like watching videos or browsing the web. I ended up using this device a lot more than I intended to. So, this is it for me. I'm Too Loud Tech. Remember, you're here listening to a friend, and if you have any questions or comments, just drop them down low, and I always get back to everybody. I try my best. Thank y'all for coming out and allowing me to share things that I enjoy with y'all. Peace.